So I was watching Saberspark's longest video he's ever done on the Balto trilogy, and I do have Balto on Blu-ray and everything, thanks to Frank Hill. But I wanted to talk about that because I listened to what Saber said, and he does have a bit of a point. It didn't really make sense for Balto to have a trilogy. I mean, it's basically an animated film based, if not loosely based, on the true story of that run they did, to get that medication to Nome, Alaska, and that's all you needed. That's all you really needed for the movie, or for a movie period. You didn't need to expand on it and all that the way they did. But Saber did bring up the fact that we were at a time where basically a lot of studios, Disney, Warner Brothers, and Universal, and this is mostly thanks to the likes of Disney, wanted to get in on the direct-to-video animation craze. And Universal, seeing what it did for Land Before Time, decided maybe it could be the same thing for the likes of Balto and American Tail. And even though American Tail became the second closest to doing a Land Before Time like run, it ultimately failed, and so did basically Balto after its initial run as well. Because again, there are certain stories you can make a franchise out of, and Saber basically said Land Before Time, because it's based on dinosaurs, had a lot more leg room to work with. Where you look at Balto and you look at American Tail, and it's like that didn't have much legs to work with, outside of what they originally presented. So the question is, did they have to make a Balto trilogy? No. If you wanted to do a sequel, that's fine. You know, and you could have, taken what Saber basically pointed out as being some of the best elements of said sequel and basically focusing on those elements instead of, not focusing on them, period, and kind of going all over and making it very fanficky. I mean, if you wanted to, focus on the children of Balto and Jenna, then you could have done that in one film. You could have done a two plot deal. Like, you could have Jenna play a major role with, let's say, Alu, and Balto goes with Cody. So, and that could have worked out. You could have had them kind of work out situations with the kids. Maybe go to each other for consultation, be like, okay, what, I'm trying to do this, it's not working, da, da, da. And then maybe have them switch, and then you could have Jenna, if you will, try to work with Cody, and Balto, like in the second film, work with Alu, and problem solved. Problem instantly solved on both fronts. But they didn't do that, and instead they went the directions that they did because, again, they were trying to basically see what they could get out of Balto, just like with American Tail. Like, could they get another, Land Before Time, franchise? And obviously that didn't happen. But I think the other reason that they did this, and I'm surprised Saber didn't bring it up, was I think they were trying to do a series. Not just a series of movies, but they were trying to maybe create an animated series. Because after the first several Land Before Time direct-to-video sequels from the original theatrical film, they did an animated series. And I think that was on what, HBO or Disney or something. One of the channels had it. They had an animated series. So obviously they wanted to, probably do the same with Balto. I mean, American Tail already had an animated series after Five Goes West, and that ran for about a season or two on CBS, and I thought it was okay and everything. And they could have just left it at that instead of doing these little like prequel stories that took place before the film, before the second film, if you will. But they decided, but they didn't, but they didn't leave it as just being a series. They decided to do those prequels, and I think that's what kind of hurt them because they already had something with that animated series that they could have, continued with, afterwards, in my opinion. But with Balto, I could see them wanting to do an animated series based on that based on the Balto animated movie, and these two sequels, The Wolf Quest and Wings of Change, were just the centerpiece, the starting point for that series to happen. Where I think we would have saw the return of Alu, as the Wolfpack leader with new little magical tricks like blending in and becoming part of things, like the original Wolfpack leader could, as well as see Cody maybe, team up with his sister, and his sister tease him with her new powers and everything, and maybe even teach him, and they teach each other, and they work together with the family. I think basically that's what they were leading towards. Trying to do an animated series where we see the return of the kids. Hence, they would work off each other and then work with the family and go from there. And that's what I think this whole Balto trilogy was all about. They were trying to do what they did with Land Before Time. Get a couple movies out, see the success, and do an animated series. That's what I think the original plan was. And I'm surprised Saber didn't bring that up. But yeah, did they have to do a trilogy of Balto though to want to do a series? No. They could have just said, hey, let's do an animated series based on it and go from there to see what happens. And if it works, it works. They could have even done that, like I said, as the second film to see if it worked. And if it didn't, then just leave it at that. But what do you guys think? Do you think they should have made a Balto trilogy? And do you think maybe the original plan out of the trilogy was to do an animated series where we would see the return of Alu, as well, teaming up with Cody, teaching him new tricks, having fun with the new tricks on him, and all that, and then working together with the family and all that in an episodic way? Let me know down below in the comments, as well as in the live chat during the premiere, guys. Love to hear from each and every one of you. And until next time, I will talk to you all later. But yeah, give me your thoughts. How do you think that was the case? And do you think maybe Saber missed an opportunity to talk about that? Let me know. Talk to you later.